spell this gentleman's name?
T-E-T-S-U. T-E-T-S-U.
Okay. No worries.
Y-A.
Y-A. Not a problem. Alright, thank you very much for that. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
This is the first time this car's been out of Japan. It's racing out here, so that is the real significance to that, because it's never raced out of Japan at all. It is still the current record holder. It's done at 7.671 seconds to the 400 metre or quarter mile, as you know it. It is, I believe, also the current world record as well for all drive car. Both ourselves, BD4s and Australia and HKS believe that Australia is a very fast-growing market for drag racing and also high-performance cars or late model Japanese high-performance cars. So we see it's a big potential in this market. So that's why we brought the car out, hopefully to give us a big push in promotional purposes, basically.
We've got to do the performance testing on the driver, so we've got to do a blindfold test to make sure he's familiar inside the vehicle. And then we'll go out into the track and go through the procedures out there. Yeah, I haven't seen anyone fail yet. You get a few times where you actually get people to take the blindfold off and re-familiarise themselves. You know, if there's a car that someone else has built or something, but you know, when you've had someone who's driving the car constantly, there won't be different kind of cars make different things too.
Gavin Hansen is Andra's technical representative in Queensland, and he was there to do the final certification for the HKS car and for Tetsuya, and to do the final check over all of the technical and safety aspects of the car and the licensing to make sure that everything was safe to race for the weekend.
カードってもうやっても多分もうブースト上がらないと思う。
After each practice run, Tetsuya talked with his mechanics and his crew chief. Technical information from the car's computer was downloaded into the laptop, and they made changes to the car. to spring settings, suspension settings, adjusting boost curves, timing, fuel delivery, traction control, all these items. And it really allowed the car to perform to its utmost in Australia for the first time and be super competitive. Decided to change some spring rates in the rear end to try and help the HKS GTR get some better traction off the line and stop bogging down. Traction apparently was a major concern for the guys, and apparently the track was just too sticky. Just to show you that some good old Aussie ingenuity can help out in situations like this, Australian company King Springs were called into service here, and they supplied 3 sets of springs for the rear of the car to see if we could get any better traction off the line. With Tetsuya looking on, the boys went hard at work changing the springs over in the rear end.
That sound down there is the HKS car, just started up. I just changed the rear springs in it because the rear springs yesterday were actually too soft and it was getting too much traction, which was causing it to bog down off the line. And with a time like 7:90 they were unhappy with that, so we can expect to see some improvement on that today.
Following each run, the HKS crew downloaded all of the data from the car's sensors into the laptop computer to make any fine-tuning to help improve the car's performance for the next run. A hairline crack was found in the intake plenum.
ちょうどグッドだった今切ってる音する緩いですかそう現場ローガーでじゃあずっと 1.8 ってしたらずっと 1.8 だから何にも分かんないんだ初めはねあれだけ抜けててもまあその分エンジンには
You'd be surprised some of the things that happen out here on race day with some of the blown engines and that. Yeah, quite often you see the old silicon and zip ties out.
歪んだら入んなくなるね緩めないといけないかもしれないしゅうちゃん撮影の邪魔だってああ大丈夫ですよ大丈夫ですよ大丈夫ですよ
The
it warped due to the heat of the welder. Should have actually been bolted down onto a flat surface. What can actually happen, then we can turn the ram tubes and therefore position them in a different angle.
On returning, it was found that the plenum wouldn't quite line up to the head as it used to. With one more piece of Aussie ingenuity saving the HKS crew, the intake plenum was bolted back in place and they were ready to hit the track again.
Following 2 days of perfect weather, drag combat spectators were let down by a heavy patch of rain.
Unfortunately, due to the weather conditions today, drag combat has been postponed till tomorrow morning.
All wasn't lost though, as Tetsuya Kawasaki came out to salute the crowd in his own special way. It was a bit of a shock to the rest of us, but the crowd loved it. The car's going good engine-wise, it's just having problems hooking up today. The track hasn't been as good as what we'd like it to be, but hopefully we can make some suspension changes and wind a bit of power out of it and get down the track for the first round against the HKS car. We're expecting to run around the 8.2, 8.3 zone, but still trying to get a grip of the fuel system. Once we get that sorted out and know where we are with that, then we can start winding up the boost a little bit more. Currently it's on 26 psi, and once we can start running into the 30 psi region, we should be running 790s, 780s maybe. Currently it's put out around 740 brake horsepower, and that was at 24 psi. Yeah, I've run 26 and 27 psi, but we've had other little problems that has popped up and arisen. Last meeting we burnt pistons and burnt a conrod because the mechanical fuel injection has a barrel valve on it, and when the throttle closes, it closes the fuel curve off, and we still had full boost and the throttle bracket sagged. So, not a good idea. Okay, in the engine we have a 2-litre Nissan FJ20 engine. It's currently producing 740 horsepower. It comes through a T-Series turbocharger from Turbonetics. It has got twin race gates from Turbonetics and a Godzilla blower valve from Turbonetics. They've supported me with all the gear for this car. It goes through a Spareco liquid to air intercooler, runs alcohol, and a custom-made sheet metal plenum. The oiling system for the car is a Peterson Pro Rotor 3-stage oil pump, and the fuel system is a Hillborn mechanical. In our class, we wanted to run drag racing here in Australia, and it permits that we use an iron block, and in Group 2 you cannot use aluminium blocks at all, so SR20 was ruled out straight away. I had a look at the FJ cylinder heads and they look like they're a lot better than the SR, so you can do a lot more with them. It's a stronger engine and
much more capable of pumping out 800 to 900 brake horsepower reliably. Well, we held it all the way to 330 foot, then the car got up on the tyres and got a little bit loose, and I had to back out a little while, and as I backed out I saw it shoot past a few car lengths, and I got back in it again, and the track was a little bit slippery, so we just couldn't pull back on it, but on a good pass I reckon I just about would have had him then.
Looks pretty impressive, doesn't it? Why don't we ask Joe all about it?
We started off with a little R100, and basically the running gear out of this is out of the R100. That actually ran at 82, 164, and because it was just a little car and it was a full steel shell body, decided to go RX-7 for aerodynamic, and just basically new model car, which is what we really wanted to do. And we actually run the best, or one of the best transmissions in it. This one we run a G-Force in this one, and fully adjustable clutch, all Mark Williams rear ends, and it's only 3/4 chassis, it's not a full chassis car. We've still got steel panels on it, still steel doors, and later on down the track we are going to go fully carbon fibre and try and go a bit lighter and get a bit quicker.
Starting off with this thing, when you're actually racing, the things you've got to really, well, the safety features of the car is actually your seat belt. You've got to have a 5-point harness, which is pretty thick harness, so it straps it down pretty tight so you don't move. And we've actually got our seat angled at this position, so the G-force, you're not like that and you get back, so you're already strapped up and you don't have to move. Your hands are right. Even up to the roll cage, there's even this brace up here, which is a safety brace, so because we've got a sunroof, so we don't fall out of the car in case it had to roll, and your harness come off. But no, I can't see that happening. But you know, in case if a harness comes off, you'll hit here, you won't roll out of the car. Then you've got your fire extinguisher here in case, which has to be close to your hand, so when you grab it, you can actually grab it without undoing your harnesses and stuff. The first things you do is you turn your bottle on, which is your air bottle. That selects your gears. So you've got your air bottle on, so you've got pressure in your lines. What you do is you just turn the ignition on, start the car. You've got to watch your temperature. So when you've got your bottle on, you started your car, your temperature's up to about your 140, 160 degree, Fahrenheit, sorry. And then well, you're rolling up to the line, and you got your crew guy telling you how far into the water to go. So you're watching him. Tells you to stop, and all you do is clutch here. You put your foot on the clutch, and this is like your first gear. You click that in, and that clicks in your box in a gear. So that's your first gear. So what you do is you click it in a gear, and you put a bit of pressure on your brake, and you hold this button, which is a line locker kit, which locks your front wheels up. And that determines how much pressure you put on your brake, is how much to hold your front wheels. And you keep your finger on that, you accelerate, and you let go of your clutch, so you're spinning your first gear. Now you go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You always got to go for your 5 gears for your burnout. And you let go of your button, then you're out of your burnout, then you're off it slowly until you feel the tyre's grip. As soon as you feel the tyre's grip, you put in the clutch and you neutralise it. So if you don't neutralise it with these boxes and you on off it, you can actually mesh the gear and just break a gear straight away in a burnout, instant like that. So it's not that easy. And what you do, your neutralising is there, so what you do is to reverse back, you just throw on your clutch and you push this button, which is your reverse button, and you're reversing back, and you've got to leave your finger on that button until you're all the way back, let go of that button, and when you let go of that button it neutralises itself. So you reversed up, foot on the clutch again, click it in gear, that's your first gear. You're rolling up to the line, and what you do, as soon as you see your first light, you put a bit of pressure on your brake, and you put your finger on your line locker kit, so there's a bit of pressure there, and you just squeeze it in with your accelerator, and you just let go of your pedal in, you just squeeze it in a bit, so you've got a bit of pressure on your clutch, and your front wheels are still locked, so you don't roll over the beam. And all you do is you watch your lights. It's not that easy, but you just watch your lights. Once you start braking your first, or when you brake your second beam, you give it about a couple of seconds, and as soon as your first amber light comes, you rev the car up to about 6.5, 7 green. You just leave your constant revs, and all in one hit, you just let go of this, dump your clutch, and accelerate all together. And before you know it, you're changing in your second gear, third, fourth, fifth. And when you finish that, actually as soon as you finish that, your parachute's on, which is here. You just pull that up, that's your parachute on, and you neutralise your box straight away, or you can blow that again. And as soon as you finish your run, you turn your bottle off so it doesn't leak out pressure. And if you're running nitrous, you turn that off too as soon as you finish your run, just for safety. And that's the run finish. All that just for a 7-second pass. Yeah, the way it works is this is a lever that goes in the car there, and what happens is as soon as you pull your lever, it pulls this pin out, which has got a spring inside there, and it pulls the hat out first. And what that does is it comes out, even about a metre away from the car, the wind gets around the chute, pulls it back, and it's braced onto the chassis. So this bar here goes right to the chassis, and it brakes onto the chassis, and it actually stops you so hard that you can actually feel the harness just gripping into you. It stops you so hard. It's just like people think, oh, how hard does it stop? Very hard. You don't even need your brakes sometimes. The faster you go, the harder you stop. As more wind gets under it, and it just pulls you harder. So they're very good. Now under here, as you see, it's still the standard way you pull a bonnet up, but that's going to change soon. We're just going to have a shimmer carbon fibre, so it's a real lightweight bonnet, and you can just quick release it. Still early stages. Even the setup, we're still running just a quad throttle body, which we're going to change into a 6 butterfly setup. Dry ice intercooler, which the actual intercooler starts from here and runs up inside there, and this is just a box around it, fully insulated. And this intercooler, in its full potential, like it's been squashed up. If you can imagine a big intercooler, and we've chopped all the cores and squashed it right up. So this intercooler basically is that long, but it's all squashed up to the one. So it's a humongous intercooler, compacted into a little spot. Turbos, that's our first stage turbo we're trying. But we're actually going to try put more turbos in it. Maybe that'll be harder, but that's our next step. Nitrous system. We've actually got a 3-stage nitrous system in it. We only tried the one so far. We've only gave it a little hit for now, and we're actually going to try that too as the car gets quicker and more stable. We'll actually start hitting more gas in it. You can't just like give it all its power off the mark when you know you haven't set the takeoff yet. So once all that's set up, we'll give it all it's got. 788 we ran was just with a little hit of nitrous we ran through it. We've got like a progressive system, so you got your little hit off the line, and then it just throws more and more in as you go. Like you got a 150 by the end of the straight, you got like a 200 nitrous hit into it. But we've only hit like a 110 through the whole run, which is basically nothing. So still plenty in it. Okay, what we're running is a XTR 55mm wastegate, and we're running a XTR TA45 turbo. That's actually just still a standard form turbo. They've modified the wheels on it. It's got like a higher trim wheel, and basically it's still pretty standard. There's still a piece more we've got to go with it. Now with the throttle bodies, that's injection propulsion throttle body. They're actually Porsche throttle body we put on that. They're made for a Porsche, quite throttle body, 45mm butterflies in them. Nitrous is just an NOS nitrous we use for it. It's just a standard follow system, nothing too crash high. But what we've chosen, everything works, and it works perfect. So it's not just something we throw together. Everything's tested and proven before we put on.
You see that? That's an Australian flag. That's patriotism. The Japanese can come out and give it a go. What we want to see is guys like Abel Obara coming out and racing this car and seeing really who is the fastest in the world.
Thank you. Any car models?
Oh, drag combat. Tomorrow, I want to see you at 8.
Okay, whatever.
Happy 8:30. Happy birthday.
Tomorrow.
Are you ready? Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go!
I think that was 7.5. Are you as ugly as this guy? I've got a fix for that. Drag Combat shirts. Available from dragcombat.com. Get online today.
Even has space to embroider your name. Oh yeah.
If you remember your name. What's your name?
Tetsuya Kawasaki.
You wish.